Prime Minister Narendra Modi will officially launch 5G services in India at the India Mobile Congress, accompanied by telecom majors Reliance, Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea. Prime Minister Modi is expected to review test cases of 5G services in sectors like farming, cattle herding, river cleaning, to name a few. Remember, the auctions concluded on 1st of August with the government receiving bids of more than 1.5 lakh crore rupees. Let's now go across to my colleague Ashmit Kumar, who reports from Pragati Maidan in Delhi, where the launch is set to take place.
Well, a very good morning to all of our viewers. We're joining you live from the India Mobile Congress being hosted at Pragati Maidan in the national capital. This is, of course, the site which will witness the launch of 5G. In fact, as you can see right behind me in the visuals, the stage is literally being set for Prime Minister Modi to launch 5G services shortly. We're minutes away from that now. It's interesting, India Mobile Congress, the mood is one of anticipation, of eagerness. There are long queues waiting outside. We can probably get you some visuals from there. But as far as the main hall is concerned, this is, of course, where all the action is. We're expecting very many startups, over 100 startups. There will be over 300 delegates. There will be leaders from the government. The Prime Minister himself will be flanked by the Telecom Minister, Ashwini Vaishnav will be here. The titans of the industry, we're talking about Mukesh, Dhirubhai Ambani, Sunil Bharti Mittal, Kumar Mangalam Birla will also be here. They will be, of course, displaying, manifesting what the 5G rollout will look like, what the 5G use cases are. In fact, in specific domains of education and health, they'll be giving those examples, those use cases before the live audience here. In terms of as far as what the industry dynamics looks like, well, keep in mind that this rollout comes quick on the heels of the 5G spectrum auctions that took place. Remember that those auctions yielded 1.5 lakh crore rupees. Not just that, as far as the rollout is concerned, we're expecting the launch today to be done only in a select few cities, and the whole pan-India rollout will perhaps be at some point in 2024. In fact, if we are to talk about rollout timelines, Jio is looking at December 2023, Airtel a little beyond that, VA is yet to give more clarity on what the rollout looks like. But clearly, there is a big task at hand for the industry. The numbers are quite large. We're talking about back-of-the-envelope calculations suggest that the rollout obligations will cost the industry about 2 lakh crore rupees. So big numbers, those. But of course, today is the day as far as 5G launch itself is concerned, the inoculation is concerned. We'll be getting a mood check right here from the India Mobile Congress as the proceedings are set to begin. We're only minutes away now from the official ceremonies beginning right here at India Mobile Congress.
Quite the watershed event. Ashwin, thank you very much for that. But even as we welcome 5G in India, the question that we're asking right now is, will 5G trigger another leg of consolidation in the Indian telecom sector? By consolidation, we mean market share gains for Bharti as well as Reliance Jio, and a loss in revenue market share for Vodafone Idea. So the first point which favors this argument is that Vodafone Idea is the only telecom operator who has not revealed its 5G plans. Reliance Jio at the AGM said that it will roll out 5G services in key cities by Diwali, and it's aiming to have a pan-India presence by December 2023. On your screen, as you can see, is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is inaugurating the IMC, the India Mobile Congress, which is taking place right now, where he will be launching the 5G services. The ribbon cutting is currently taking place. We will be hearing from Prime Minister Modi by 10:30 p.m. and thereafter other dignitaries, other telecom leaders like that from Bharti Airtel, Sunil Bharti Mittal, Mukesh Ambani himself is also present over there. You can see Ashwini Vaishnav, the telecom minister, who is accompanying Prime Minister Modi as they get set to launch their 5G services. This is expected to be a big watershed event in the telecom sector's life. From a market point of view, the key to track will be the monetization opportunities, because currently from a B2C point of view, that's for consumers like you and me, there is no big killer app for which you really need 5G. 4G heralded the arrival of, say, Netflix, Uber, and a lot of the streaming services which could not have been done with 3G. But as of now, we do not have that killer app for 5G. For B2B, that's the enterprise use cases, the potential is enormous, whether it's an autonomous car, remote healthcare, doing remote surgeries. But right now, pilot cases are taking off. Despite globally 5G being present in many of the developed economies for the last 3 years or so, it's still in the pilot stage. We haven't seen large-scale deployment of these B2B enterprise. So monetization is going to be crucial. Pricing is going to be crucial. Can telecom operators charge a premium to, for 5G services, given that you're going to be giving them a lot higher speed versus 4G. And again, smartphone adoption as well as penetration and pricing will be very crucial. The visuals are up for you on your screen. As Ashmit, my colleague, pointed out, who's currently present at the Pragati Maidan where the event is taking place, the launch is going to be taking place, that Modi is likely to launch this in a couple of cities today, and then progressively, perhaps over the next 2 years or so, we will have more clarity and maybe even a pan-India rollout of 5G. As we await more comments coming in, let me quickly invite telecom expert Sanjay Kapoor, who is also with us on the show now. Sanjay, opening remarks from you. There is a lot of anticipation that 5G is finally going to be a reality in India. What is your expectation?
So, to begin with, for any economy or country to move on to a contemporary technology is a good news. And especially when the service providers are happy with the way post-auction allocation of spectrum has been done. So I think that's the beginning. But the road from here to a destination where the customers applaud the experience and begin to benefit from the services of 5G is a very long road. This is something that 200 odd operators across the globe have been doing it, and now India joins the bandwagon. From here to reach a destination where customers begin to vouch for the services and begin to benefit from those services is a tough road. It is not an easy road for any economy. And I think India has a long road to traverse as well. So I think the real taste of the pudding, as they say, lies in eating it. And we will all discover over time when all elements of the network, where all stakeholders involved begin to synchronize their efforts towards reaching that destination. And I think that will take a lot of money, that will take a lot of resources, and it will be time consuming as well.
Sanjay, thank you very much for that. We just saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was at the Reliance Jio 5G booth. Remember, over the course of today in the morning, we will have more clarity from the telecom operators who will be demonstrating one use case each in front of the Prime Minister to showcase the potential of 5G technology in India. I think for Reliance Jio, Mukesh Ambani will be connecting to a teacher from a school in Mumbai with students in 3 different locations in Maharashtra, Gujarat and Odisha to demonstrate how 5G can facilitate education by bringing teachers closer to students despite the physical distance. So remote learning, it can be a big game changer in education, help bridging India's economic as well as digital divide. Thereafter, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be going to the various booths. He was right now present at the Jio booth, but he will be visiting the other booths. And as Ashmit said, there are more than 1,000 startups who will be showcasing the truly transformational impact that 5G can have on India's society. In fact, if you hear the statement that has been made from I think from the Ministry of Communication, they have indicated that the cumulative economic impact of 5G in India is expected to reach $450 billion by 2035. Let me repeat that. The cumulative economic impact of 5G is expected to reach $450 billion by 2035. But to understand from a market point of view how we can leverage this transformational benefit of 5G, I'm now joined by Prakash Diwan on the show now. Prakash, thank you very much for joining in. From a market point of view and the listed players like Vodafone Idea, Bharti as well as Reliance, it all boils down to whether they can charge a premium for 5G services over 4G. In that context, your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely, Rima. This is a tectonic shift of sorts, if you will, in terms of what the telecom sector would go through and would evolve into. So I think this is the starting point of a new journey where all the effort of the last 20 years that have been put in by the telecom players to be there, to service, to survive, is actually going to start paying off. So this is payback time for them in that sense, for the simple reason that the moment you have 5G enabled services, especially related to data usage, there is a very clear pricing trigger that you have. You're sitting on a tool which will help you price better, price in a superior way. You will have, of course, variability in usage and hence pricing. The plans could vary from the absolute cheap ones to the ones that are exclusive and come with so much of privileges and perks. And that's exactly where the ARPUs would first start inching up. I mean, we've been talking and hearing about this. In fact, even Sunil Mittal mentioned some time back that 300, 350 is the zone that ARPUs should be going towards. And that's finally seeming imminent. So it could probably, this was required. This wouldn't have happened without the 5G rollout. And I hope it's timely enough. And in the sense, it's not elongated in terms of the timelines, but definitely very promising for all the incumbents telecom players. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there has been a lag, Prakash, in what the telecom operators want by way of ARPU and what they're able to actually get and pass on to the customers. And Indians have now gotten used to very, very cheap, cost of data. So in that context, although there may be a case for 5G pricing to be significantly superior given the faster speed, lower latency, and the opportunities that it unfolds, the question is, will they be able to pass on? So your thoughts in terms of timing as well as a quantum of a price increase. The last price increase was just less than a year back in December of 2021. How soon do you think we will be able to see another price hike, which is substantial, a 10, 15, 20% type of a price hike, and not just basic tweaks and tinkering? So one, in terms of the timeline, and two, in terms of a quantum of price hike.
So yeah, those are the interesting metrics naturally to focus on, right, from an earnings perspective. But I would believe that the launch for 5G services could probably be at a price band which is more of testing waters. It might not be something which is very steep or something which is very out of reach for most people. The whole idea would be to kind of start rolling it out as the number of consumers grow. And from that perspective, I guess you'll give them at least about 6 months till it starts getting into that pan-India mode. It's only after that you would probably expect a significant price hike or a change in, the pricing plans, which are meaningful. As you said, 8, 10%, 20% is what you would need to move to go out from this 190, 192 zones to the, to the 225, 230 bands. Now, if that were to happen, it would probably be post-March, April is my guess, Rima. So the next 6 months, you'll probably see more of testing waters out, more of trying things out, more of adaptation and acceptance metrics which will fall in place. Interestingly, what happens is that there will be, when you talk about ARPUs, you may not have a huge change in the basic tariff plans that still exist, because India is a price-sensitive market. But it's like automobiles. You had the rollout of category C and D vehicles, but it's now that the premium vehicles are growing faster than the entry-level vehicles. So that could probably happen about a year later from now. And then that's what will start moving the ARPUs to a slightly more organically healthier rate than what we've seen in the last 5-10 years.
Okay, just moments ago, we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi, I think, wearing the AR/VR goggles, augmented reality as well as virtual reality. He's now moved on from the Geo booth, but just moments ago, we saw, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wearing the AR/VR, goggles, and the opportunity is enormous. 5G coupled with IoT, edge computing, AR/VR, robotics can enable a lot of use cases in sectors like education, healthcare, manufacturing, e-governance, and we will have greater clarity on how enterprises are planning to use these advanced technologies to enable, India's transformational growth. Remember, Prime Minister's vision for India is that this is going to be a decade, and decade stands for technology as well as decade, where he hopes that technology will enable, a technology which is backed by 5G will enable India's GDP growth in the next, 1 decade. So I think we will see a lot of, great technology breakthroughs as well coming through on the back of 5G. 5G will be that bedrock which will take and bridge India's digital divide and take us into the next decade. Decade is what Prime Minister's vision for India is. But let me also quickly go across to Sanjay Kapoor. Sanjay, customers, as you pointed out, right? It's still going to take some time for the customers to really experience the true power of 5G. It holds the promise of 20, some say 50 times faster speed. But can we really get to experience that immediately? And how soon? And what would be the roadblocks?
So look, ultimately, all use cases will not require 5G to be at play. There'll be certain use cases which require low latency, or there could be an Internet of Things which will come to play other than the fast speed of the network, that will truly define in which applications 5G will be required. And unfortunately, there are far and few of these use cases today available in the world. What are the use cases for India which will get defined? Operators are working, application developers and content owners are developing on such like use cases. But I don't think we have something ready which can be deployed tomorrow other than probably gaming, which a lot of people talk about. Internet of Things may not require high-speed internet and low latency, but some applications will. So I think this is a discovery that the market and the ecosystem players will discover together.
Sanjay, Prakash, request you to stay on. We need to slip into a very short break, but the discussion, the coverage of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the India IMC, where he's revealing and he's all set to launch 5G services, will continue, but we'll be back after a very short break. Stay tuned.